Hello everyone and welcome, this is Commander Curses and I am playing the Elite Dangerous Horizons 2.1 beta. Engineers, I'm up to beta 4. I've had some stability issues for the last few patches, so I haven't made any videos, but here I am in the Engineers beta. There's been so many changes. One of them, pardon the jaggies, is the graphics quality inside stations is improved. It's very neat. And the ship just looks so good. Look at the shininess, which wasn't apparent before, all the reflections off of the parts of the shiny parts of the ship. Yeah, it's really neat. Alright, so I'm in my Clipper. I want to demonstrate the engineers. So, what are the engineers? We'll go to this part. So you can see that there is 5 engineers at the moment that I know about. So they show their name, their specialities, and whether you've got them unlocked or not. So this envelope means I've been invited to meet with these engineers, and this one is locked until I've got a specific thing. So who are the engineers? Felicity Farseer, who is 104 light years away, specialised frameshift drives and engines and thrusters. Elvira Martuk, frameshift drive and shield generators, she's 230 light years away. The Dweller is power distributors and pulse lasers. He's 72 light years away in the weird system. And Todd Doublastar McGuinn, who was featured in the newsletter, and he specialises in multi-cannons and fragment cannons. Now the reason I'm in my Clipper, I want to take a roll of the dice and see whether I can get better engines. How much better? And what to do with it. So I'm going to go see Felicity, 100 light years away. I'll just load up the galaxy map. She's there. I'll have it ecosystem map and take a ride to her exact location, which is denoted by this looks like a nut, purple nut. So let's go and take a fly. I've got a cargo hold full of fish because in this part of the beta they want everyone to just check out the there we go. Better get out of the way of this ship. They want everyone to check out the engineers crafting and things like that, so they just allow you to do anything with fish instead of having to collect the actual materials, which can be a little bit tricky. Now one thing you'll notice when I leave the station, or you may not hear it, is that there's now an air traffic control system implemented in the game for stations, which is pretty cool. I'll try and show you it later on when I arrive at the engineer's base, but this is going to take me quite a while. If you can see, it's like miles and miles and miles, about, I don't know how many jumps, like 20 jumps, 15 jumps, and I'm going to have to refuel on the way, so I'll meet you there. That was the flight control telling me that I was outside of the no-fire zone. That's really cool. Okay, catch you soon.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, I'm approaching Farseer Inc. As you can see, the icon's not just a base, it's a little nut just coming out of Super Cruise, and these engineer bases are handcrafted by the elite devs. Look at this giant post. Oh, it's a shame that I came to the dark side of this planet. Anyway, 7K's out. Let's just do a quick flyover and then
Delay Charlie Uniform Romeo commencing automated flight control routine. Please observe docking protocol.
That's pretty neat. So it looks like there's a bunch of pads. Oh, this is a heavy ship. Uh-oh. So I'll just do some sightseeing first. It's pretty cool. And
Warning, temperature critical.
what is that? Why is that? What's happened? I don't actually understand why that happened. I think my joystick is having some a few issues. I'm actually about to send it into the get repaired.
Access
Sorry.
granted. Proceed to landing pad 03.
It's a pretty cool beacon lamppost. And the do not hit that. I'm using the Tobii IX for my eye tracking, and that's helping me to look around with the head look. Can I land without crashing? I don't think so. Oh dear.
Warning. Landing gear not deployed.
Landing gear deployed.
This is a first time I've really been flying this ship in atmospheres, so well, I've only got 0.9 G, but yeah, it's a bit difficult. Alright, let's land and see what we've got. So if I enter the hangar, it's very different from most
Touchdown
ground
complete.
ports.
Engaging ship restraints. Your arrival has been noted.
And it's a different type of hangar bay, which is it's important to see, and it's got rock around the outside, so yeah, very, very interesting. Alright, so let's go to the menu. Okay, let's check out the engineer's workshop. Everything pretty much the same other than that. So I'm invited. I need to donate 1 fish, so let's read the history. Felicity Farseer is a legendary explorer who engineered her own improvements to her as explorer in her early career. She is willing to share some of that knowledge with fellow explorers and operates an extensive training program for technicians and mechanics heading out into the black. She based herself here at her father's mining and refinery facility, though in fact her operation is separate. Develop your relationship with her to learn about another engineer. Okay, so there's kind of a rep system to go along with the crafting and upgrade system. So let's go donate our fish. I've got 100 tons of it. I brought it all the way from Szechuan, but there's like thousands and thousands of fish available from the station, so I'm a little bit annoyed that I took that many extra jumps. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to upgrade my engines. So I'll click here, thrusters. So I've got the 6A thrusters on this currently. So what happens? So dirty drive tuning is the first one. So what's that? That does the optimal multiplier. So I guess that improves the optimal. I don't know what the optimal multiplier is. Anyway, let's go down and look at what this is. Drive strengthening, so that improves the integrity, which is the amount of damage it can take, and that reduces the amount of thermal load that it has, but it also increases the mass and reduces the optimal multiplier. I wonder if you can apply more than one. Right, clean drive tuning, that reduces the thermal load. Alright, well let's just try dirty drive tuning. So I've got, at the moment you need fish, but you can pin the, oh, spelling mistake. You can pin the blueprint into your engineers section of your cockpit. Oops. So if I go here, I can look at the blueprints, apparently. View pinned blueprint. So I need to get fish, and this is, yeah, so normally it takes, oh, what have I done? It takes a lot of materials to be able to actually modify a thing. You know, you need these materials here from your, you know, so you need carbon, chromium, germanium, you know, all of these kind of things that you pick up on the surface of planets. However, today it only requires fish, so we'll preview the outcome. So what does it do? Costs 1 fish, let's generate it. So every time you actually generate a result, it kind of has it randomizes all of the effects. So what I've got here is halfway to the maximum beneficial effect, and almost all of the negative effects have gone worse than what I wanted. So I'm going to try again to try and get a better positive effect. So that will only be a 2% upgrade into my optimal multiplier, which I guess is my speed multiplier. I'm not really sure. So here it goes. That's pretty good, 3%. And all of those are quite bad. So I'll try one more time, because I've got the materials to spare. Probably if I was using my own materials, you know, having spent hours collecting them, I probably would have accepted that one, or maybe it wouldn't have had a choice. Oh, that's terrible. Alright, so I don't know what these mean. Alright, one more time. And whatever this one is, I'll accept it, because then we can move on to upgrading to stage 2. Alright, so these negatives effects are... Oh, I've got a little bit of a positive effect on my optimal mass. That's pretty good. Alright, so I'll accept this one. Yep, there we go. So, unlike if I used it on my frame shift drive, I can't actually tell how much faster I would be going, because I don't have that stat. I don't have my speed as a stat on this, yeah, so it's got the... Yeah, it doesn't have any stats. So I'll just upgrade it again. What about... Where is it? Engines. So I'll do... Can I do number 3 now and do number 2 later? Let's see if I can do number 3 now. So I don't have to do them in order. Obviously the higher level tuning is a higher cost. So look at the stats. So I've got a chance of having positive integrity and positive optimal multiplier. So let's generate. So there's 110, and I've got a bit of positive in integrity. So then secondary effects increase the other things. So I guess this is just a randomized. So that actually reduces my optimal mass. So I'll apply this one and see what happens. So it overrides the previous modification. So I can't. Ah, that's interesting. So you don't have to buy a whole new drive. It just overwrites what you previously had. So you can't have layers on layers of modifications. Okay, so let's do it again at level 4. And so presumably that means that if I do it on the strengthening, or so I can either have a strengthened drive or a clean. Alright, what is this? This will make me a cut above the ordinary. This improves my... I see. Alright, well I want to have dirty drives. Just because. Just for fun. Alright. Not bad. Bad. Average. Bad. Great. Oh, okay. That's good. So that changes my integrity, but boosts it. And that should decrease my optimal mass. Oh, that's terrible. It wrecked my mod. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, we'll try again. And yeah, if I wanted my optimal mass improved, but I don't really. This ship doesn't really need it, I don't think. Oh, almost maxed on that. It looks like I've got a good optimal mass, so the secondary effect. Power draw decreased, so that'll boost that. Good. Optimal mass improved, so that'll boost that. Mass decreased. That's okay, so I've got 2 more tons of onto my power plant, but that's very good. I'm going to have that. So there we go. And I'll see if I can do... Yes, I can. So I think what it's showing me is as I've used the higher level upgrades, I can access all the different upgrades for my different things. So my engines, my armor, and my power distributor FSD can all be level 5 tuned, and all of the different things. So I'll do one more, and then we'll go test how fast. That's Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Not so good. Pretty good. And the secondary effects. Power draw. Decreased. Good. Optimal multiplier. Increased. Even higher than what it should be. That's great. Alright, apply. Apply. And let's go. Let's go. Test. Launch. So I know that I've lost some tonnage and all that sort of stuff, but really a couple of tons on the total mass of the ship really won't make that much of a difference to the speed. So my previous top speed, 340 meters per second, and my previous top boost speed was 426.
Landing gear retracted.
Alright, so let's give it a boost. 530. Goodness me, that's very fast.
Routine. Safe travels, Commander.
530, 540 I saw. Wow, that's great. Okay, so I'll just slow down and see how. It's still pretty hard to steer this ship, as you may remember from the previously with the Clipper. It's got a very difficult to control flight envelope, and if you do turn too quickly, it ends up so it ends up, you know, going backwards. But my top speed is in the 400s, and it's up from 340. It's huge. About 430. Wow, nearly gained 100 meters per second. That's amazing. So, yeah, that's very good. So that's crafting. We'll talk about the new materials and all that sort of stuff, collecting them in another video. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up here. Here's my SCV. I planned on doing a nice scenic final cut to my video, but I ended up driving off the cliff just in the foreground there, the background there, and falling down to the bottom of the canyon next to the engineer's base, and now I'm on 5% hull. So my ship decided to land on the top of this hill, so I've been trying to get my way back there for quite some time. And yeah, you can see the new graphical improvements. My tyre track's going over this extremely tall hill. I could have just come up that way anyway. That's going to wrap it up for this episode, but I will be doing a couple more episodes on the engineer's update, one on the missions system modifications, which is going to be pretty rad, and another on the new weapons, where there's huge multi-cannons and beams and all that sort of good stuff. So I'll come back with a couple of videos on them. So anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope that I can make it up to the top of these cliffs, because it's pretty rugged terrain. And I will catch you again in the next one. Commander Curses, signing off.